970. It is 3:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on November 21st, 2016. As usual, I would like to take the time to thank all of you for watching this video, and I always appreciate what you have to say. And I got some interesting comments last night, and some of them were from people that have been watching my channel almost either frequently or at least semi-frequently to the point where I've recognized them. And as you could see by the title of this video, it says it's gonna be okay. Now, thank goodness the comments were overall positive, and you get a couple of people that'll just say their ridiculous things. You'll get the people who make the fake profiles and, make their ridiculous comment, because that's what they do. But I want people to know that it's okay to show emotion. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world if all of a sudden one day you get upset or you get angry. And it was actually funny that one of the commenters, one of the typical trolls, says that I was emotionally unstable because I showed emotion last night. And as you could see by my voice, like I was saying, if the people actually watched the whole video, you could see where you can get emotion, and then if you get it out, you move on, and everything's okay. I think today's people have been conditioned to hold everything in, that they're so afraid to speak their mind for fear of judgment. I view people today like bottles of soda that have been shaken and shaken and shaken with no ability of release. And then one day, all of a sudden, the top pops up and they explode. And you're seeing that in the streets, you're seeing that in the media, you're seeing that with a lot of people. And we got to say goodbye to one of the people because obviously they don't know how to speak and communicate. So people want to judge. And one person that I just deleted made the nice comment of saying that I'm unstable. So what I'm to gather from some of these few people is that if you are not just monotone and stay a certain way, that is a form of instability. I don't understand this. So people are suppressing their emotions and then they explode. Since when is it bad to actually have passion in what you say? How is that emotional instability? It's just, I guess people are conditioned these days to want to become robots. They want to train you to be these emotional people. And if heaven forbid, or Allah forbid, or whoever you worship forbid, or atheist forbid, I don't know, I don't want to disinclude anybody, you show emotion, that there's something wrong with you. Because if you watched the video last night, and a lot of people did, because like I said, people love drama, and they're going to watch something where somebody is kind of yelling, but you didn't see me not talking, making sense. I was very coherent. I don't regret the things I said. I appreciate the fact that I can be emotional, that I can care to the point where I respond in a certain way. And it's okay to be angry, but you notice I didn't take my anger out and try and hurt someone, or destroy someone, or steal what they have, or take away their rights to maybe disagree. And that is the lesson I think people need to learn in this direction that we seem to be heading in, because we're all heading there together. And that's why I've tried to preach thinking for yourself, and not worrying about judgment, and it's okay to talk about things. And if being mentally unstable means that I show emotion, I show different emotion, I have passion, I care about things, then that's perfectly fine, because I would rather be considered from these trolls and these people who don't do anything to contribute anything positive in this world. I would rather be having them think I am some emotionally unstable person than to be them who are hiding behind the shadows, pretending to be something they're not, being robots serving the system that will eventually eat them alive when their value no longer has any meaning. And I like addressing these things because it shows true strength is being able to face all things and knowing it's going to be okay. So I'm not ashamed of how I spoke last night. I'm not embarrassed about how I spoke last night. I don't regret anything I said. Because if you look at certain parts of this world, we've neglected things for too long. And the soda pops, or whatever you want to call them, the pops are topping. The tops are popping. And people are exploding. And people are angry. And that is why we have the situations that are happening right now. And you can walk around with blinders on, pretending not to see it, thinking that's going to save you. If you were on the Titanic, you could cover your ears, you can close your eyes, you could repeatedly say, I don't believe what's happening. And all you're doing is stopping your chances of survival and just sinking with the ship. So I'm not afraid to show emotion, and no one should either. And that's the point I want to make, that it's okay to get mad every now and then. But what's not okay is to use that anger to hurt others, to destroy other people's belief systems, other people's property, other people's right to disagree. And what set me off last night was I watched a video of a person that had a megaphone on. I guess they were in California or Los Angeles, somewhere in California. I don't know directly where. And they were preaching the word of Jesus. Now, they have the right to do it, whether you believe in it or not. That's up to the individual. But they had the right to do it. It's free speech. And this person was saying nothing but kind things. And basically saying what some very religious people would say. You should repent because, they may believe the end times are coming, and they have the right to choose that. People have been saying that for thousands of years, the end time is coming. Remember 2012, when everybody said December 21st, 2012 was the end of the world. Remember, some of us remember Y2K. People were saying it was the end of the world. When it turned the year 1000, people were saying it was the end of the world. So people can have their beliefs. But this person wasn't cursing, wasn't attacking. He was saying his beliefs. And people on the other side of this street were going up to him, cursing at him, standing in front of his face, trying to push him and instigate a fight. And all of a sudden, this person was surrounded by a bunch of people with anger in their hearts. And that's what sickened me. Because it's okay to not agree with somebody's belief. But what's not okay is to want to try and have so much anger and hatred in your heart that you would want to stop somebody's right of caring about somebody. Now, whether that was genuine or not, we may never know. Because we'll never know the true intentions of somebody. Because what we've learned in this world, thanks to the media and the politicians, and plenty of the trolls. So that's what I love about trolls, is they really get to teach you what some people are like. Where they will pretend to say the things you want to hear. Pretend to be the people that you want. Pretend to be your best friends. Only to gain your trust so they can take from you. If you believe in any religion at all, and it's okay if you don't, or if you vary in them, but if you think about what Satan would represent, he is the master of lies, he's the deceiver. So do you think a deceiver is going to come out to you and be honest and say, oh, I'm coming to take you, or I'm coming to hurt you, or I'm coming to destroy you? No, they're going to come at you as your best friend. I mean, if you watch any mafia movie, the person that usually does one of the people in is usually the person that's their best friend. Why? Because they can get in close without being thought about. And that's the problem in this world, that so many people pretend. They pretend to care. And that's why I've said so many times, and there are sometimes I like quoting things from the Bible. I'm not one that believes fully in what a book says that was written by man, and if you get mad at me because I have that choice to believe what I believe, that anger reflects more on you. But I like to quote certain things because they do hold true. By their deeds you shall know them. And I've had so many accusations pointed at me over the years, but you could see I've stayed relatively constant. My videos are all about trying to help other people. Now, that doesn't always mean I'm right, but at least I'm questioning things. And that's something I think so many people wish the media would do. and the politicians would do, that they wouldn't pretend, oh, everything's fine, and like Hillary Clinton, put on a fake smile and brag about how they have a public view and a private view that's being dishonest, that's being deceiving. But it's our choice to be deceived. Because as they say, for once I was blind and now I see. But emotions are just part of an experience where you can learn things from them. People are never afraid to laugh and love and smile because those are positive emotions. But people are so afraid to cry or to be angry. The real problem is not somebody getting angry. It's what they do with that anger. And you notice last night, I did get passionate in there. And you could say I got angry with some of the things I was saying. But I didn't turn it into something destructive. I tried to turn it into something constructive. I didn't go out and beat an elderly person afterwards. I didn't go out and rob my next door neighbors. I didn't go and murder an animal. So there's a difference between a person. See, this is to me unstable. A person that can get mad and want to hurt people afterwards and live with that anger, maybe go to drugs or alcohol or abuse other things, that's unstable. Unstable is not showing emotion. And I challenge these people that make these accusations to show themselves and show what production they've done. To me, mentally unstable is a person that will follow my channel for years, make fake profile after fake profile to tell me how much they don't like me, but yet continually stalk my channel to hear what I have to say, just so they can thumb it down. Those are the people that are calling me unstable. I find that quite ironic. And a judgment towards someone else is basically a judgment towards yourself. And that's why one of the reasons I preach all the time is think for yourself. And be careful. Because they try and teach you these things. Not, if you look at stories, and look what got Hansel and Gretel into the Wicked Witch's house. It was candy. Look at Pinocchio, when he started turning into the donkey. He was told, oh, you don't have to go to school. Come play with the boys, shoot pool, smoke cigars. And I got it wrong the other time. I said Cinderella was actually Snow White, or Sleeping Beauty. I don't know. I don't really follow Disney movies because I don't like to watch pedophile movies. Movies made by pedophilia. But the person that gave the apple to, I guess, Snow White or Sleeping Beauty, I don't care. But it was given by a kindly old lady. Deceivers. It's just, I watch these political supposed protests and see the anger and the hatred and the wanting to hurt others, not even giving them the courtesy to speak and communicate. That is instability. So if those people are going to say people like me are unstable because we can actually show emotion and yet control them, well, I'm not too upset with those people's words because they hold no meaning. And that's what I try and tell people. People these days are so worried about what other people say. They stop forgetting that they can control anything. Because words only scar you if you believe them to be true. So why let it? And I'll tell you a story. When I was a younger child, when I was in my teens, I was just like the typical teen. You get depressed every now and then, you even think about suicidal thoughts. What changed my mind is, I was probably about 17 years old the last time I thought of a suicidal thought. And I pictured myself in a grave. And I saw all the people who cared about me, my friends and family, crying because I was gone. And I started laughing a little bit. And that's the day I developed my sense of humor, because I thought, how ironic that as a teenager I was going through what I thought was the worst things in the world, because teenagers, we love to over-dramatize everything, because we really don't know what the world is like, and we're so used to people giving us stuff that when we have to actually start working for it, it kind of bums us out. But I was at the time when I felt like I wanted my life to end, I was more concerned about the people who loved me. And I realized there's enough people in this world trying to put people like me and others and you down. So why would we do it to ourselves? Why would we allow that in? Because it's easier? Or because maybe we believe it? Who knows? But my thing is, if you look at what's going on in this world, and the people who will just dress up in fancy suits and show off their fancy certificates and show off all this paper green debt note they have in their pocket, and they use that as the symbol for good and power, is there any wonder why this world is going in the direction it's going? This world is full of cannibals. Sometimes even metaphorically speaking. We feed off of each other. But it's always a choice. So a few bad apples don't have to spoil the tree. You just get rid of the bad apples. Or you move on to another tree. Stop worrying about what other people say. I mean, you could listen to it. It can get you down. It may even make you rethink things. But you don't have to believe in it. You don't have to let it structure your life. Just because somebody says you look like a duck does not make you a duck. And it's okay to show emotion. And obviously there are people who thumb up my videos for a reason, who come back for a reason, because they resonate with what I say. What I say is not going to be for everybody. And if you get mad at me for having my own belief system and my own thoughts, well, maybe you need to reevaluate what you're doing and wondering why what I say makes you angry, makes you upset, makes you want to hurt somebody or insult somebody. Because that says more about you than it ever will about me. Because I'm not going on other people's channels and constantly judging them. Because if I don't agree with them, or I don't like them, I just ignore them. That doesn't make me better. It's just the way I choose to live. Whether it's right or wrong to anyone else is irrelevant, because what's right to me is what's important to me and the people around me. So as long as my mother thinks I'm okay, as long as my wife thinks I'm okay, as long as the people that I love and care for think I'm okay, I could give a damn what anybody else thinks that has no meaning to me. And that's something they will never understand. So you can believe in anything you want, but you don't have the right to make anybody else believe it, whether it's right or wrong. And that's the problem with this world. People are too busy thinking about enforcing others to believe their system instead of just believing it for themselves and enjoying the fruits of whatever that is. And if it hurts you, well, maybe you had to experience it to learn differently. Negativity can be a good motivator or a good learning lesson. So why be so afraid of it? If you think this channel is going to be all kumbaya, hug a tree, and love everybody, you're in the wrong place. Don't get mad at me if that's not what you're seeing here. My channel is about me expressing who I am, sharing my honest thoughts, my honest opinions, knowing that whatever belief I have can change at any moment depending on what's presented to me, because I don't put myself in anything that labels me in one particular way. So if people judge you, that says more about them than yourself. But if you allow it to consume you, then that is the problem. And that's why I tell people, my recommendation is, my belief is, don't watch mainstream media. Don't participate in the bank system. Don't just get angry and do nothing. Some people they spend their days judging, for whatever reason. I stopped trying to care about figuring out why. But they'll keep doing it, for whatever reasons. But like I said, that says more about them than you. So all these protesters are so worried about everybody else doing something, they stop worrying about what they should be doing. And there is no more communication and rationality. And then people wonder why we're heading towards this destructive potential end. But to me, there is no such thing as end. It's just the door that closes so another can open. And sometimes you got to make things so horrible that you'll leave something no matter how hard you clung to it. So I don't view what's going on as a bad thing, even if it gets me angry every now and then. It shows passion. It shows I care. It shows I didn't give up. It's okay to have feelings, even the bad ones, believe it or not, because you can learn from them just as well. And Charles Fuller says, Lynn, I asked him a genuine question, but I guess it scared him. I don't know what you're talking about, so if you want to ask a question, go ahead. I usually don't read the comments because every now and then it distracts me from my point of view, so I would not be scared of a question. So Charles, if you instead of making accusations, just ask your question. So let's see. So anyway, if the person asks the question, I will do my best to answer it. But my recommendation to people is stop being followers. It's okay to listen to people. It's okay to be affected by something. But don't tell other people how to live their lives. Don't stop people from having different beliefs. You don't have to love everybody. It's okay to not like a certain group or a certain way of life. But it's not okay to stop them from living it. And I've said this before. When it comes to, like, for example, transgenders, at one of my karaoke nights, because you may or may not know, one of my jobs is I'm a karaoke DJ. At one of the bars that I work at, there's a couple of people that are transgender people. The first transgenders I've ever met. Some of the nicest people I've ever met, too. Very caring, very considerate. They're there every week. They're very loyal, very friendly. And I have no problem with them. But I don't believe in their lifestyle. I don't view it as okay, in my point of view. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop them or hurt them. I consider them friends. Oh, thank you, Lynn, for that. I appreciate that. Like I said, I don't read the comments. That's okay, Charles. That's why normally I don't read the comments, because then it kind of gets me distracted and everything. So there are certain times to love, and sometimes there's even certain times where you could feel hatred. I'm not going to love somebody that spends their days beating animals for joy. I don't have to love that person. But it's not my job to murder them either. It's to educate people, to keep people like that from continually doing things like that. There are better ways to take care of things, and that's why I've preached nonviolence. You can get things done with nonviolence. Look at things like the New York Times. They had to put out that supposed apology because they're losing subscription after subscription. And eventually they'll go out of business if people stop funding their ideals. I will never watch Saturday Night Live again after I saw all the propaganda they've been doing. You have to make a stand. But it's okay to be offended, especially if you're going to use it to better life. Sometimes the best inventions in the world came from the greatest tragedies. So if you only look at one side of the equation, you're not seeing all sides, and you're missing out. So there are going to be people who are going to judge me for what I say. I'm not here to please everybody. I'm here to please myself. And if anybody else gets that same resonation and learns something from what I say, then that's a beautiful bonus. And I'll say this to any of my trolls that continually stalk me. If you come here expecting me to do everything that you want, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Do for yourself. And if you choose to live the wrong way, you will continually have wrong things coming into your life. But that's always a choice. So getting mad, getting upset, getting concerned, it's quite all right. But if you get to the point where you need alcohol to calm down, need coffee, need a cigarette, need whatever to control your emotions, that's instability. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't even drink coffee. Don't even drink soda. But I'm okay with the fact that what I said last night, I don't regret it. And no one should ever regret what they say. And that's the problem with this world. We're taught to be robots. We're taught to be just doing your jobs. And look what's happening in this world. And we're headed in a direction that's not good. So if you want to be on the Titanic and just follow along with where the boat goes, you better hope that captain knows what he's doing. Sometimes you just got to say, you know what? I'll take control of the wheel. Control your own destiny. You may not get everything perfect, but if you learned something from a negative situation, then it happened for a reason. So I'm glad I did the video I did last night. Whether somebody agrees with it or not, that's up to them. So, as usual, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to comment, taking the time to listen to my video and hear what I have to say. If you saw the entire video, in your comment, put the number 1 so I know that you heard the whole thing, because I always know the people that just either yes me to death or just insult me by never even hearing anything that I said, and they just base it on the title or 2 seconds worth of a video. The people that I appreciate here are the ones that will listen to all I have to say, not the ones that just come here to just say, yeah, great job when you didn't listen, or yeah, it sucked when you didn't listen. All or nothing. Everything else is just settling. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered.